Hey, what's up nerds? As you might know, I love the Captura mode in Warframe. You can make some pretty cool stuff with it, and it builds a whole new appreciation for the environments we rush through on a daily basis. So needless to say, today's video is going to be all about Captura, graphic settings, and how to get the most out of the game in terms of looks. Quick disclaimer though, I do use a third-party shading and effect software called Reshade, for multiple reasons. Since this is a gray area in the terms of service, I can't recommend using it, and I won't show you how to use it. I also won't show you how to install it. But yeah, my name is Swag, and I make random videos on Warframe. If you like this video, do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more Warframe videos. We are super close to 1000 subscribers, and I've got a small giveaway planned when we hit that insane milestone. So stay tuned. Right, how to Captura in Warframe. I'd first like to go over some settings, as they might change your gameplay significantly in the long run. If you're not interested in settings, even though you should, I've made timestamps in the description below so you can easily navigate to what interests you the most. So let's hop into Warframe. When you're in the game, press escape and go to options. First off will be your aim and look sensitivity. As weird as this sounds, it affects your camera. Having this quite low helps with a more steady aim and an all-around more fluent movement system as well, as you have to point where you need to go instead of slight movements with your hand. After that, go to the gameplay tab to change some of your chat settings, like what chats you want to see and if you want a profanity filter on. You can also change your chat size, scale, and whatever. The profanity filter is a big one if you have kids who play on the account. Also, you can change the active tab notifications only to avoid your chat box popping up during shots. It also is useful if you are in a private chat with someone or in their DMs, /w. Especially if this one isn't very talkative, because it will make sure that your chat window does not pop up while you're taking shots. Enough rambling, let's get to the display settings. These are quite important as some changes might cause your energy and ability effects to show more or less and make the game more enjoyable to begin with. So I'm going for max graphics settings here. This Warframe isn't too heavy to run. For comparison, I run a Ryzen 5 3200G and a GTX 970 with a custom shader profile and can run the game at these settings at around about 90 to 130 FPS, depending where I'm playing of course. So first up, huge change. Change the graphics engine to enhanced beta if it isn't already. This is a huge step up from the normal graphics engine. Will make reflections, shadows and lights a lot more realistic. Display mode is whatever you need it to be. I run it on borderless full screen to be able to tab in and out quickly or to just do things on a second monitor. Window scaling is set to native because I have some text scaling going on in Windows. If, for example, you have some windows scaled to 125% on your normal screen, that might break the game. Therefore, you'd put native as your mode. Aspect ratio depends on your screen, as does the video resolution. For the Captura people again, you can put your screen in Windows to 4K, and that will translate in the game to 4K as well, even if you only have a 1080p screen. This will make your shots look a lot crisper, and if you don't have a garbage setup like mine, you might even get some decent frames. Turn VSync off, and if you don't do any macroing, you can turn your max frame rate to no limit. Leave your brightness at 50, set your contrast at 55, just to make colors pop a bit more, and turn your field of view all the way up. This makes sure that you have the biggest screen real estate to see even more than just the back of your frame. For a more cinematic approach, you could leave the field of view at 70 or 80. This really isn't super important for Captura, but yeah, still useful I guess. I personally have screen shake and reduce visual effects off. Number one, because I can't stand screen shakes. It makes the game feel a lot cooler, but it's annoying. Two, I want to see what my teammates cast, so I can react to that. It's mostly for gameplay, not really for Captura, but it also helps a little bit in Captura if other people cast abilities and you have friends. On to more intricate settings. I have some of these turned off because I use Reshade for better versions and more customizability. I would just say copy my settings if you want to have a similar look, as going through these are worth a video of their own. However, do keep in mind that color correction may enable or disable the use of filters in Captura, that you can and should play around with the effect's intensity at all times, especially with more intricate frames or skins like Ember or, you know, Loki Jotunheim. Right, so how do we take some sweet speed screenshots and where can we get some cool scenes? First off are the sceneries and where to get them. Captura scenes can be acquired in a number of ways. Probably the easiest way to get some nice tech related scenes would be to open secret rooms on Corpus Gas City maps. They're fun to do and give you some amazing Captura scenes. The second way to get some cool scenes is to rank up your standing at any of the open worlds and purchase them with standing points. Especially the Orb Valis and the Plains of Eidolon are absolutely worth the standing, as they are so versatile in landscape and lighting. To get some insane sentient themed scenes, you'd have to farm Railjack sentient maps and find rare crates. Same goes for some of the Earth scenes. Lastly would be faction dedicated Captura scenes can be purchased for faction standing. You can also trade scenes for platinum or items if you so desire on, for example, Warframe.market. Second point are themes. What story do you want to tell? What faction does your Warframe look like? What hentai... anime character does your frame resemble? This basically goes hand in hand with point 1. A tech-based frame on the Plains of Eidolon, you know, might look a little weird for example. It's doable, but not easy to pull off. A Corpus Mag, for example, would fit better on a Corpus themed tile set. Nidus fits well with infested themed tile sets, and so on. Of course you can mix and match however you want, and there are a lot of exceptions to the rules, especially when it comes to particular lighting situations. However, practicing themes already teaches you a lot about composing a picture and learning to tell a story through one singular photo. Anyway, to get into Captura, go to your arsenal, hover over your Warframe card and click Appearance. A small camera icon will appear at the top right of your screen. When clicked, you get to select your Captura scene and you will travel to said scene. Now don't worry, you can change the scene within another scene quite easily. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Alright, so we're in Captura. Now what? First off, I'd recommend doing 3 things straight away. Firstly, unequip your pet or sentinel and unequip any ephemera. Especially when just starting out, both of these can ruin really cool shots and it takes some finesse to add both of these elements. Number 2 would be press G on your keyboard. This opens the Captura camera mode. Then press X to get into more advanced settings and turn your field of view all the way down. This makes sure you get nice angles, you Captura all the details, and you generally get a better quality image. Lastly, either have Steam's inbuilt screenshot taker on or download something like Lightshot to get good quality pictures. The inbuilt screenshot button saves your images in JPEG format and are terrible when it comes to details, colors, and overall quality. Never use that one. With that out of the way, we can look for some nice backdrops for a screenshot. This can be anything really, from a Corpus panel, trees, lakes, and mountains to something like light rays or a simple wall. Whatever butters your egg roll, go for it. You'll learn what works and what doesn't work by taking a fuck ton of screenshots and looking back at them weeks later anyway. So might as well try everything. What works well generally are faraway backdrops like Gara's Lake on the Plains of Eidolon, for example. It adds context without taking over the entire shot and makes for some nice lighting during both night and daytime. As a little side wheel, I personally like to think about my Capturas as making desktop backgrounds, or telling a story, even though I'm personally not that great at those. Now it's about finding the angle. You can move the camera with WASD and slow down rotations, turns and movements with your right mouse button. You can also move the camera faster with your shift key, if you need to get somewhere in a reasonable amount of time. You can tilt the screen with Q and E and move up and down with the spacebar and control key. So you got your angle, you got the backdrop. Now what? Lighting. The lighting you choose can be complementary or contrast the whole picture. It really depends on what you're going for. A good tip I picked up along the way is to decrease the environment lighting a little, to see what colors naturally occur and use those as the primary colors. Then put it up again. The first lighting option is the key light. You can find it by pressing G on your keyboard, go to advanced Captura settings and scrolling down a little bit, then enable 3-point lighting. I personally use this light to brighten up shots that get too dark. In brighter areas, it's best to turn this off or use it very mildly to avoid excessive highlights. The second light is the fill light. It balances the key light out or shows a greater amount of detail. I often use this to simulate light reflections from the environment. Lastly, the backlight or rim light is there to highlight contours. It's mostly behind the subject and helps separating it from the background. Since Captura is like photography, I really don't want to force a specific style onto you. So I'd say practice, practice, and practice. Try out new stuff all the time and abuse that print screen button like the sad displays of Excalibur mains mashing their E button. However, there is no excuse for your subject not being in focus. The focus controls or depth of field controls are very simple to use, mostly because they're inaccurate as fuck. Another reason why I use reshade. Set the distance, then set the amount of focus. A good indication are energy color emitters on frames. Is the light blurry, you're out of focus. It's really that simple. Now instead of forcing opinions or styles onto you, let me throw in some quick fire tips that are super useful and could even save you an amazing composition. Number 1. Advancing time with your camera pointed at the light source adjusts the overall lighting of the scene. Think of the plains of Eidolon during night. You got an insanely bright moon with blue accents all over, and it's a little bit overwhelming. Point your camera at the moon, hit T on your keyboard to advance time, and it will darken your shot overall. This can also help with excessive brightness indoors and serve you some amount of detail in close-ups. Number 2. Equipping a scanner while in Captura makes your frames animations turn to idle animations. No need for weapons to show up with their wonky animation sets if you just want a serious shot of Excalibur Zato taking a smooth hit from his crack pipe. Number 3 is, in my eyes, one of the most important ones. Let's say you have your shot ready. Everything looks cool, but you forgot to take off those nasty shoulder regalias, or your sentinel's in the way, even though we told you to unequip it. Pressing escape now will ruin that shot. You have to set up the angle again and adjust your lighting accordingly, or even have to sit through a full minute of idle animation just to get to that specific pose. Fear not, for the solution is quite near. Just detach the camera and don't move your Warframe. It's really that simple. Detached camera can be found way up top in the advanced settings. Since the camera won't move and the time is locked, nothing should change even when you open your arsenal. You can thank me later. Number 4, change energy colors of arc wings and K drives to black. The velocity stripes move in front of your frame when you least want it, so might as well get rid of them. Number 5, this is me repeating myself. Never, ever, ever use the in-game screenshot key. It compresses the hell out of your pictures and make them look even worse than what they have to be. And lastly, you can change your Captura scene by going into the advanced Captura settings, scroll all the way down and click on select Captura scenes. It's that simple. Thank me later, because this is gonna save you a lot of time re-entering and going back into your fucking ship and whatever. Just use it in the Captura, man. It's so much easier. So yeah, that pretty much sums up what I can teach you about the Captura mode in Warframe. Other than practicing and creating your own style or getting better at styles that just suit you, there's not a whole lot I can tell you. Art is subjective. To one, it might be the worst picture they've ever seen. To others, these might be masterpieces. Now, as I said, sadly I can't show you how to use reshade or how to install it. However, I may just say fuck it in the future and show some cool stuff you can do with it, like using LUTs, depth of field effects, coloring your environment, and enhancing the overall look of the game. Another great resource for getting tips or just straight up critique or, get roasted is the official Warframe Discord or the other Warframe Discord server. Both of the Fashion Frame channels have amazing people in there who are willing to help you or give their opinions on your shots and what you might be able to improve. There are also people in there who are a lot better at Captura than I will ever be, so, take it from them. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video like crazy. We're almost at 1,000 subs, and in order for the giveaway to happen, we need to reach this insane goal until the end of February. There's no real reason why, I just, want to put some pressure onto you. Also, check out the Discord. We are alive and fairly active. So feel free to show off your Captura skills in the Fashion Frame channel or come and hang out while chatting about whatever. See you there. Stay healthy, stay safe, and yeah, I'll catch you next week. Later.